So let's get back to the question we started with. What limits human performance? Could you have some sort of superhero or superhuman who could do things much more energetically and faster? We've seen that muscles are not the limit. It's certainly technically possible to have much better muscles. Lung capacity, getting oxygen. It's certainly very difficult to get enough oxygen to power us. We have to have this incredibly complicated procedure of veins and diffusion across the convoluted inner surface of the lungs, but it's not obvious to me we couldn't do better on that by having more alveoli, bigger lungs, smaller. We could get maybe a factor of 10 improvement. So unclear about that, but I don't think that's the limit. My best guess is the limit is actually heat loss. Now we saw this could come through radiation, conduction combined with convection, or evaporation. How much heat can they carry away? Well, it all depends on the outside temperature, humidity and wind. If it's a cold, windy day, then this is not a limit at all. You could certainly be much more energetic. However, humanity evolved in East African Rift Valley, places like that, where it's pretty warm and pretty humid. Under those sort of conditions, radiation just doesn't get enough heat away. Likewise, conduction and convection is not going to do very much, so you're left with evaporation as the dominant method for getting rid of heat. And that can get rid of maybe a few 100 watts in typical East African weather conditions, and that is about the highest level of performance that humans can actually put out for a considerable length of time. I mean, maybe that's a coincidence, but to me it looks suggestive. So my hypothesis here, which may be wrong because I'm not an expert on this, is that the limitation to human performance is heat loss. There are other limitations, for example the oxygen one, because the oxygen limit is about the same as the heat loss limit, but that's simply because evolution, there's no point in trying to evolve something that's better than another limit. So there's no point in being able to breathe in more oxygen. If you actually tried to combust it, you would overheat and die. So what does this mean for ability to make super athletes? Well, it's probably possible to have super athletes who run around in the naked in Arctic conditions. Humans haven't been living there long enough to have much evolution, but presumably evolution over a few million years, if we last that long in cold areas, might evolve super athletes who can do things much faster without burning up. They need to evolve bigger lungs as well to deal with it. For machines, well, it's going to be a severe problem for machines as well. I mean, you could build machines that are much stronger, but you're still going to have to get rid of the heat somehow. And if their surface area is comparable to a human, they can't get rid of heat much faster than we're already talking about here. So it is in fact already a serious problem for all sorts of machines, in particular most modern computer chips. Heat loss is what limits them. You could make computers that run faster, but they'd melt. The heat would just destroy them totally. So they've got fans and special copper bars or heat pipes to try and get the heat away as fast as possible. But already the microprocessors in most modern laptops are throttled, deliberately run slower than their maximum speed because you just can't get the heat away too much. So my impression is the ultimate limit to human performance is getting rid of heat. If you think of a better way to that, we might have superhumans.